Feel like your marketing is well, you've probably asked yourself at least one of these three questions. I'm putting time and effort into my marketing. Why does it feel like nothing is working? Where are the new customers? I'm spending money on ads and tools that are supposed to funnel them in. Why does my marketing feel like it's all over the place? The small business owner in me completely understands. Trust me, I'm right there with you. Which is why in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5-step process that experienced marketeer Vivian gave me to my marketing. She looks familiar, doesn't she? So instead of beating yourself up over it, just go ahead and follow this simple 5-step process to reassess and help you get back on track so that ultimately you can your marketing. Step 1, define or redefine your audience. I know everybody says this, but experienced marketeer Vivian says that it's for a very good reason. Getting crystal clear on your ideal customer is going to ensure that your messaging, your talking points, your brand voice weeds out the people that your product or services are not for and pulls in the people that your product and services are for. If you are spending money on advertising and that advertising is not converting to sales, it may be because your ads simply are not specific enough to your target audience. Or it could mean that your advertising by itself, so whether that be the social media platforms that you're choosing to show up on or the publications where you are placing these ads, are just not publications that your target audience reads or not the places that your target audience hangs out. Either way, defining or redefining your target audience is going to help you identify this. And if your marketing right now feels like it's all over the place, focusing back on your ideal customer can really help you identify those talking points that you need to attract the right type of customer. So whether that be through the type of brand voice that you use, the fonts, the brand colors, or even differentiating points that you use in your advertising, all of that can help you solidify and streamline your branding so it doesn't feel like your marketing is all over the place. An effective way to go about doing this is to actually group your target audience or your potential customers into different buckets. And you want to be able to treat each one of these buckets as a real person. So think about what age group are they in? What type of lifestyle do they live? What kind of things dictate the decisions that they are making when they are purchasing your particular product or service? What are their interests? The more specific, the better. So ask yourself questions like, who are they? What do they need? And why would they choose my business? Once you know who you're talking to, then you're able to tailor your marketing specifically to that person. And so it's going to feel a lot more personable to them because they're going to feel like you are speaking right to their pain points and you know exactly what they're going through. And that's when your marketing becomes effective. Step 2, create a clear message. Imagine someone's only hearing about your small business for the first time. What do you want them to know? What's the most important thing? Think of it this way. You're about to get onto an elevator and somebody looks at you and says, "Oh, what do you do?" And you say, "Well, I own a small business." And they say to you, "Well, what does your small business do?" Do you have a 1-sentence business summary that is going to accurately represent your small business and what you do in the time that it takes for you to go up 1 floor? Okay, that's all the time you get. If you don't, and you need a little help putting one together, then experienced marketeer Vivian actually has done a whole video on how to craft your 1-sentence business summary. So if that's an exercise that you want to run through, go ahead and check that out. The reason that you want to create clear and concise messaging is because it does create an instant connection with people. And let's be honest, but the better you are at communicating, the better you're going to be at selling your products and services. Step 3, audit your branding. Think of your brand like a personality. If the look, the feel, or the sound of it is not consistent across the board through, let's say, your ads, your social media platforms, the in-store look and feel or vibe that they get doesn't match, then it's confusing customers. And I'm just going to be honest This is probably the thing that I struggle with the most as a small business owner. So going back in and actually auditing your brand is very smart to do, even if you think that you do it really well. Do a quick audit, like go through your website, go through your marketing material, look at your social media platforms, even look at your signage. Are all of the colors, the fonts, the language the same? Are you using a logo that's instantly recognizable? If the answer is no to any of these, then you may need a quick little branding cleanup. Remember, when you're looking at your brand like a personality, you want people to be able to eventually say, well, that's out of line for that brand, or that's right in cue or right on target with what that brand represents. It should be very easy for a customer to, look at something you've done and say, oh yeah, that's on brand. Step 4, check your marketing channels. Step 4 is all about focus. Go in and reassess, look at all the marketing channels that you are currently using to build your business. Now, believe it or not, because marketing is constantly ever evolving, we actually in 2024 have about 19 marketing channels to choose from, and that's a lot, which means that as a small business owner, you have to pick which marketing channels you want to move forward with. You cannot possibly, and you do not possibly have the budget or the resources to be able to do all 19 at once. So just know that over time, you're probably going to have to change your focus. And that's okay. That's why it's important to go in and actually look and reassess which channels you're using at any point in time, because as your business grows and changes, you are likely going to change your strategy. You're going to utilize different marketing channels at different times. By the way, if you want to see a future video that focuses on reviewing all 19 of these marketing channels, go ahead and comment the word channel down below, so that way I know it's a topic that you're interested in. Now, one thing I do want to remind you of is that your marketing channels should also mesh with your target customers. So be sure that you are focusing on the channels that your target customer is potentially going to be utilizing. For example, if let's say that you are looking to target business professionals, then LinkedIn as a social media platform is probably one of your best bets. Don't ever let yourself be swayed into choosing a marketing channel just because it's the popular thing to do at the time, okay? Be sure that you're always basing your decisions on the data and the information that you have and what is going to work best to attract the most ideal customers into your small business. And step 5, set clear goals and track them. And while it's the last step in our 5 steps to your marketing process, this one is probably one of the most important, simply because if you do not set clear goals for your marketing, you are flying blind and you are never going to know whether or not your marketing is actually working. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you decide to take out a billboard. There has to be a way for you to track the data you receive on whether or not that billboard is effectively working for you and if it's translating to sales. Yes, that's going to involve a little more creativity, because if you just slap your phone number on there, how are you going to know that's coming from your billboard campaigns or if it's coming from someone that visits your website? You don't. So one of the ways that you could easily track it is to, let's say, specifically acquire a phone number that you only use on billboard designs. So anytime somebody dials that number, you know that the volume that's coming to that specific telephone number is strictly coming from your billboard ads. All right, that's data you can use to see how many calls you're getting into your small business and to ultimately let you decide whether or not it is worth spending the money on those billboards. For every single one of your marketing initiatives, you want to be able to tie some type of data or goal to it, whether that be the traffic that it drives to that specific marketing initiative, like on your website, increasing sales, or getting more email signups. Tracking is going to be the one thing that gives you clarity and is going to very quickly show you what works and what doesn't work. Let me just remind you that effective marketing means experimenting. which means that, spoiler alert, not all of your marketing initiatives are going to be successful. And if all of them are, then you likely are not doing enough experimenting. And so setting clear goals and tracking these goals are going to be the one mechanism that you're able to very quickly decide what works well, what doesn't work well, and also what you need to ramp up and invest more money in, what you need to double down on, or what you need to scale back on. And there you have it, the 5-step process to your marketing. So let's go ahead and recap it really quickly. 1, define or redefine your audience. 2, create a clear message. 3, audit your branding. 4, check your marketing channels. And 5, set clear goals and track them. Listen, you're on the right track. Focusing on your marketing is one of the most important things that you can do to grow your small business. However, you don't have to complicate it. If you're looking for more small business marketing advice, go ahead and watch this next video right here, where basically I take 15 years worth of marketing experience and sum it up in less than 30 minutes.